Radio Facebook page. I'm your host, Larry Marble. Of course, today is the 31st day of August 2020. Let's get started with a week or so's worth of ag weather, and we'll use the San Antonio region as our example because that's right in the middle of down on the farm country. Mostly sunny today with a few clouds, 101 the high, 80 the low. 101 and 80 on Tuesday the 1st, 178 on Wednesday the 2nd, 99 and 76 on Thursday the 3rd, and Friday the 4th, 96 and 74, Saturday the 5th, 96 and 72, Sunday the 6th, 96 and 72, Monday the 7th, 96 and 72. Until then, our rain chances were 20% or less. They go up on Tuesday the 8th, 95 and 68, 30% chance on Tuesday, 20% chance on Wednesday. When a cool front comes through, our high on Wednesday, 86, the low, 64, neighbor. So there's a little bit of a weather change, but not much of a chance of moisture here in Down on the Farm country. Neighbor, before we go on with Down on the Farm, I got a call from Gary from PMI. That's Pipe, Steel, and Fencing, pipemovers.com. He said, Larry, we need you to help us out. The high location is losing their salesperson. She's been very valuable to them, and they hate to see her go, and she'll be going here within the next 2 weeks. So they need to get a person trained. That's the high location of PMI, Pipe, Steel, and Fencing. You can find more about that application at pipemovers.com. But if you're in that Fredericksburg, High, Stonewall, Johnson City area, and you need a position, and you think like you would enjoy it working in the pipe, steel, and fencing business in a nice little community like High, why don't you give Keno a call at 830-868-0200, or you could call the San Antonio store at 210-223-7473 and speak to Gary. They need a salesperson at the high location of PMI, Pipe, Steel, and Fencing, pipemovers.com. Neighbor, let's take a look at those commodities of ag interest. Now, we'll update those a couple of times during the day just so you can get a better look at the way the commodities are moving here during the noon hour. December corn, 361.5, up 2.5. November beans, 959.5, up 9. December Kansas City hard red winter wheat, up 12.25 at 484.5. December number 2 cotton, up 53 at 65.61. Our October live cattle up 150 at 105.05. October feeder cattle down 57.50 at 139.62. October lean hogs up 37.5 at 54.02. September U.S. dollar index down 234 point at 92.15, while our October West Texas intermediate crudes up 21 at 43.19. Neighbor, remember, don't use these commodity prices to make a trade. We'll update them toward the end of today's big show.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? Olivia, Minnesota, next to a field planted with Pioneer brand Enlist E3 soybeans. This field looks peaceful, but like every field, there's a constant battle going on against weeds. Right now, the farmer of this operation is making a pass with what looks like a 120-foot sprayer boom. Enlist E3 soybeans offer the most advanced trait technology on the market. And while it's new to most farmers, it's not new to Pioneer. Pioneer experts and agronomists have already completed hundreds of on-farm trials, all so that acres like this have healthy soybeans with great yield potential. Enlist E3 soybeans on a farm in Olivia. Another thing that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, here is a webinar learning opportunity you have courtesy of Texas A&M's AgriLife Extension Service Rangeland Wildlife and Fisheries Management Unit. The Herbicide Treatment Failure Program will be the topic. The Why Herbicide Treatments Fail webinar, scheduled for the first Thursday of each month from noon to 1, says Megan Clayton, AgriLife Extension Range Specialist and Webinar Coordinator in Corpus. Clayton will be the speaker on this webinar. Says deciding to invest in a herbicide treatment to manage unwanted weeds or brush can be difficult in every situation. As one of the few tools in our land management toolbox, Herbicides are important sources of maintaining productivity. She says that, unfortunately, our spray applications are not always successful. The webinar will outline some of the most common mistakes made when applying herbicides and give you tips on how to improve your control. One General Texas Department of Agriculture continuing education unit will be offered. Participants seeking a CEU must pay the $10 fee, but all others can attend for free. For more information, you can get a hold of Clayton at megan.clayton@ag.tamu.edu, or you can call the office at 806-677-5608. Neighbor, you can learn more by going to Texas A&M's AgriLife Extension Service Facebook page or go to agrilifetoday.tamu.edu.
Fertilizer challenges. I'm Jessica Dolmel with the update on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. The U.S. Department of Agriculture and Environmental Protection Agency have announced next-generation fertilizer challenges. USDA's Gary Crawford has more.
Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue and EPA Administrator Andrew Wheeler jointly announcing what they call the Next-Gen Fertilizer Challenges, two competitive programs designed to boost productivity through more efficient use of current fertilizers and development of new environmentally friendly ways to fertilize crops. Secretary Perdue told reporters these two competitive challenges fit right in with his innovation agenda to increase ag production 40%, cutting agriculture's environmental footprint by 50% within 30 years. The two challenges have some different criteria and entry deadlines and such. To get all the details, go online, search Next Gen Fertilizer Challenges.
That report from USDA's Gary Crawford.
Where has Pioneer soybean product development taken me today? This place, for one. I'm here in southern Illinois. I'm walking through a Pioneer test plot. Great soil, great land, but a great number of resistant weeds. That's exactly why Pioneer has a test plot here. Throughout the entire season, the local Pioneer soybean team checks to see how different herbicide-tolerant varieties perform in this environment. The idea is to continually bring you the most advanced tools to control everything from grasses to glyphosate-resistant weeds, all to deliver maximum yield potential on your soybean acres. A soybean test plot in southern Illinois. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Dolmel.
Neighbor, as we look toward cotton, according to DTN's cotton analyst Keith Brown, the cotton market is higher on this last day of August, somewhat inspired by the positive action of key outside markets. The grains, energies, U.S. stock markets are all trading higher. Additionally, the cotton market is anticipating some crop losses in Monday afternoon's crop progress data. Last week, Hurricane Laura, one of the strongest storms of the decade, slammed into the Texas-Louisiana coast, leaving destruction in its path. Although not a huge cotton area, there is nonetheless a fair amount of cotton grown about that Lake Charles area. There also seems to be newfound optimism in the U.S.-China trade situation. Last week, the two sides met via teleconference and gave the Phase 1 treaty a passing grade. To be sure, China is behind on required purchases, but some leeway was allowed by the U.S. conjunction with COVID slowdown affecting both sides. As the market starts a new month tomorrow, there are two key reports to be mindful of. One is Thursday's weekly export sales, the other Friday's jobs data. The former will show how well businesses between the U.S. and China is unfolding, while the latter will shed light on how well the U.S. economy is returning to life. For today, close-in support for December cotton lies at 64.50, then at 64.20, resistance at 66.45 and 67. Estimated volume for today, about 5,640 contracts. Neighbor Hop Singh says he is ready to serve us lunch. Chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, a cold cucumber salad, glass of iced tea, it's in the crock. The soda water is in the number 2 wash tub there by the kitchen table, and the coffee pot at Down on the Farm Radio is always on. So partake of how much or as little as you please. We'd just like you to partake of our livestock market operator reports, and we've got one right now from Russell Heller, Lexington Livestock Commission Company. They sell them every Saturday, and they will have a sale this weekend. Russell, how did this last Saturday sale go?
Yes, sir. We had a good sale. 1,480 total head with 198 cows.
Walk the pens with us.
All right. Packer cows, the thinner ones brought 25 to 45. The better cutter cows brought 46 to 66. On the steering bull calves, 3 to 400 pounds, 115 to 190. 4 to 5 weights, $1.10 to 175. 5 to 6 weights, $1.05 to 160. 6 to 7 weights, $1 to 138. 7 to 800 pounders, 95 to 128. On the heifers, 3 to 400 pound heifers, 110 to 165. 4 to 5 weights, $1.05 to 155. 5 to 6 weights, $1 to 140. 6 to 7 weights, 95 to 125. 7 to 8 weight heifers, 90 to 116.
What do you know for next?
Yes, sir, we will have a sale. One man's going to have 10 calves, and that's all that I know of so far.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yes, sir, you can get me on my cell, and that number is 979-820-7002.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? I'm at the Center for Seed Applied Technologies in Johnston, Iowa. They call it the CSAT building, and it's where Pioneer tests Lumigen seed treatments. It's a gigantic 3-story high structure. I'm in front of several aluminum gravity tables drying thousands of separated bright red and green seeds. They're like rivers of color. Hold on, I'm gonna let someone pass. I can't tell you where else in this building these seeds need to go, but I can tell you why. Everything that's done here, from polymer testing to metering, is part of a process to develop seed treatments that protect yield against pests, like nematodes and early season diseases. Because better protection means better performance, means better yield potential. The CSAT building, another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, when you hear cattle in the alleyway on a Monday, they're already getting ready for the sale this next Friday at Milam County Livestock Auction, Cameron. Kenny Mingus, talk to us about the price and quality of cattle you had.
Well, Larry, we wound up with about 2,390 cattle. Out of that mix, we had about 300 cows, and it was a little bit easier this week, but we made it through it and hope for a rain this week.
Good. Well, let's walk the pens and see how they sold.
We'll start with the steers under 300, 157 to 203. 3 to 400 pound steers, 125 to $2. 4 to 500 pound steers, 110 to 190, and over 560 to $1.60. On the heifers under 300, 150 to 190. 3 to 400 pound heifers, 110 to 175. 4 to 500 pound heifers, 80 to $1.55, and over 550 to $1.41. Packer cows about steady from 20 to 65. Bull steady at 60 to 90. On your bred cows, 350 to 940, and on your cow-calf pairs, 800 to 1600.
Okay, so it sounds like you got along pretty good. I'm looking at the weather forecast for y'all up this week, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, 40 on Wednesday and a 30 on Thursday. They're saying 13 or 14 points, but we'd take whatever we got, right?
You bet. We'll take anything right now. It's getting pretty serious.
Do you know of anything for next week?
Not right off. I'm sure there'll be some people calling, but right now we're pretty just kind of laying low, I guess, Larry.
I understand.
You know?
I understand. Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you for the Friday sale.
You bet. You can catch us at the office Monday through Wednesday at 254-697-6697. You can find us on our webpage at milamcountylivestockauction.com or catch us on Facebook.
Beef industry concerns. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Prime Cuts on Texas News and Views from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has been asking to evaluate the cattle market structure and potential barriers to entry into the packing sector. TFB Network's Jessica Domel has more.
U.S. Congressman Mike Conaway of Texas, ranking member of the House Committee on Agriculture, and Congressman Colin Peterson, chair of the committee, sent U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue a letter earlier this month asking for more information on the current state of the cattle industry. Last week, Congressman Conaway told us they were asking for a report to address concerns.
We've got every producer out there believes that the Packers have an advantage over them in the marketplace, and getting the broad study that we want done will help answer some of those questions. And if it is, then we'll take steps. And if it's not, is there competition available in the Packer industry that is currently not there? Are there barriers to that new competition coming in that we could address as well? So there may not be anything wrong at all other than just not anybody wants to invest in packing plants, but there may be some things going on. So that's why we think the study will answer questions that I think every producer I talk to believes is happening.
In their request, Congressman Conaway and Peterson asked USDA's chief economist to work with university policy research centers to evaluate cattle market structure, price discovery, price reporting, purchasing mandates, and barriers to entry into the packing sector. The letter also specifically asks for the analysis to address the following. How did the sector get to its current structure, and what are its advantages and disadvantages for producers as well as consumers? Is the current capacity sufficient for the industry to thrive and grow? What are the impediments to expansion for both new and existing firms of varied sizes? Are there policy options to expand capacity or increase price discovery regionally or nationally? And would those options address current concentration and supply chain vulnerability concerns? What common success factors for small to medium packing plants, including producer-owned processing, can be documented? And is there a set of generalizable strategies for success? Congressman Conaway said ideally they'd have the report soon to provide the industry an update. But he said they know it will take time to compile the data that they've requested.
We want it to be well done and thorough, just not rushed, but there's no reason to idle it through either. So we'll be wanting it done as expeditiously as possible, but that should not be the first answer. The first answer should be getting it correct.
The congressman asked for quarterly updates from USDA.
After my first car accident, I feared the biggest damage would be to my wallet. I expected a mountain of bills and a long, drawn-out process. But my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent was there when I needed her and helped me get back on my feet and in my car in no time. Instead of a hassle, I got reassurance and a quick recovery.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an agent who's there when you need them most. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Registration is underway for the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association's annual convention and expo. It will be held September 15th and 16th online. Event organizers say the comprehensive agenda covers topics ranging from practical tips for landowners to consumer trends and policy updates from Austin and Washington, D.C. Cost is $150 for more than 25 hours of live and on-demand content. Session topics include landowner liability law, wildlife management, sustainable parasite control in cattle, use of drones in ranching, succession planning, and developing a successful supplement program for cattle. TSCRA membership is not required. You can register at cattleraisersconvention.com.
Where has Pioneer soybean product development taken me today? This place, for one. I'm here in southern Illinois. I'm walking through a Pioneer test plot. Great soil, great land, but a great number of resistant weeds. That's exactly why Pioneer has a test plot here. Throughout the entire season, the local Pioneer soybean team checks to see how different herbicide-tolerant varieties perform in this environment. The idea is to continually bring you the most advanced tools to control everything from grasses to glyphosate-resistant weeds, all to deliver maximum yield potential on your soybean acres. A soybean test plot in southern Illinois. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
This is Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
What's impressive about Pioneer brand sorghum? I'm here in the Rio Grande Valley, Texas, sorghum country, but also sugarcane aphid country. This field is one of over 60,000 test plots. That's a lot of data, and the reason why Pioneer sorghum dominates the industry in yield potential and sugarcane aphid tolerance, a test plot in the Rio Grande Valley. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative.
Neighbor, let's do that quick update I told you we would have on commodities. D's corn, 356 3/4, down 2.5. November beans, 953 even money. It's up 2.5. December Kansas City hard red winter wheat still up 6 3/4 at 479 even money. Our December number 2 cotton's up 30 at 65.38. October live cattle up 22.50 at 105.12. October feeder cattle down 25 at 139.92. And lean hogs looks like they're up a nickel at 53.70. September U.S. dollar down 299 point at 92.08. And our October West Texas Intermediate crude is up 4 at 43.01. Neighbor, the U.S. National Weather Service station at Corpus Christi reminds us that we are getting into the peak of hurricane season and the tropics are kicking. While there are no immediate threats to South and Central Texas coasts at this time, it is important to make sure that you stay prepared. There is one storm down off the tip of South America moving toward the Yucatan Peninsula. They think it'll come across Mexico. Then there are 2 other tropical disturbances, one just coming off the Horn of Africa, one about, let's say, between a quarter and a halfway out into the ocean, headed in the same general direction as the one that's at the tip of South America right now. So we need to always keep tuned to a radio station or a television station during this time of the year to watch that Gulf. Neighbor, it's time to take a look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle, 800-288-4453. Sorghum through Corpus in August, D's plus 175, 954. Houston, D's plus 2, 999. Progresso, $8. Yellow corn through Corpus in August, September plus 50, $3.96. Houston, September plus 30, $3.76, and Progresso, $7.60 by the hundredweight. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in August, September plus 80, $5.41 3/4. We'll call Houston September plus 1, $5.61 3/4. Houston beans, August September delivery, November less 15, $9.35 1/2. Placido, November less 60, $8.95 1/2. And neighbor, taking a quick look at Texas cotton. We move 5,600 bale of East Texas, 154 of West Texas. Price is $58.97 to $61.37. Neighbor, that's Down on the Farm Radio. I'm Larry Marble, your host. Good day.